Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video and welcome to round 8 of season 7 of our F124 Haas driver career mode. Yes, we're back this weekend here for the jewel in the Formula 1 crown. It's time for the Monaco Grand Prix. If you missed out on the video that went live a few days ago from Imola, I would highly recommend going back and checking out. We finally managed to chalk up our first race victory of the season. It means now we are 33 points behind Oscar Piastri at the top of the World Championship. George Russell had an unfortunate mechanical failure, which left him obviously trailing the Australian there by 19 points after we leave the first race of the European leg of the campaign. But yeah, just like myself though, Oscar Piastri has had 3 second places in a row, but consistency is really paying dividends for the Australian at the moment there. We've got a 12-point buffer over Lando Norris, who's had some pretty terrible races in recent times. Constructors-wise, though, we are comfortably in P3 at the moment. 5 points in it between McLaren and Ferrari at the top of the table as well. But yeah, Monaco, though, it's the race that every Formula 1 driver wants to win. We haven't won here since Season 5 of this career mode as well, obviously when we were racing for Mercedes, but obviously we won Imola as well that season, so hopefully we can win back-to-back races again this season. Get yourself subscribed if you're new. We are trying to hit 140,000 subs at the moment. Also, if you really want to help support us just a little bit more, you can click the join button for just £1 a month and you get early access to all the videos as well on the channel. But yeah, without further ado, let's do this thing.
Not all qualifying sessions are created equal. From the moment that a driver sits in a go-kart, they want to end up here, in the pit lane, ready and raring for qualifying at the Monaco Grand Prix.
Well, here we are then, ready. One-shot qualifying here from Monaco. It does not get more intense than trying to complete a lap around this venue, and hopefully we can get a good time on the board today. Aston Martin, Théo Pourchaire, look very, very good throughout free practice. Will they be able to carry that pace though? You know, and the confidence is the big thing around this place. You've got to be at one with your machine. You've got to really feel like you can try and hang the car on the limit. And so far, yeah, Gasly actually setting the timings alight at the front of the order. Could this be a bit of a big turnaround for our teammate there, who's had a very quiet start to the season? Has more recently been scraping together more and more points finishes, which is really, really good to see as well from the Frenchman. But is this potentially the weekend where he really starts to define himself as a threat there? I mean, through to back, not even downshifting anymore. That's just how much grip these cars have. We nudged the wall Max Verstappen style through the exit of the swimming pool chicane there. Just one more corner to go. Anthony Noogs. So we try not to rattle up against the curbing on the exit. At the final corner, power down. P6 on the grid, but Pierre Gasly's gone and done it. Well, there we go. Pierre in prime position, ready for the Monaco Grand Prix. Oscar Piastri will line up just ahead of his teammate Enzo Fittipaldi. Fernando Alonso P4 ahead of Lando Norris and myself there. So again, Oscar looking very good. McLaren seemingly struggling a little bit more for pace here, as Hamilton qualifies just behind us in P7. Any other big surprises though? Pourchaire, I hyped him up and he ended up P14 come the end of qualifying, so that's pretty disappointing for him. But I assume Gasly must be our first teammate to get a pole position since Charles Leclerc would have done back in Season 4. It has been a long time coming, but could Pierre win the Monaco Grand Prix?
A proper road race, and in the true meaning of the word. That's how Mr. Monaco, the late great Graham Hill, once described this iconic event. The cars we drive have come a long way in the intervening half-century, but we still race on those same public roads beside the Mediterranean. There is no victory more coveted than that of the Monaco Grand Prix. The astonishing Circuit de Monaco is, for all intents and purposes, virtually unchanged since its inaugural race back in 1929. The faster cars of today ensure the 19 corners past the casino and along the seafront remain as thrilling as ever. A 2.1 mile lap here takes us around an entire country, yet never more than a few inches away from the race-ending barriers. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Pierre Gasly lines up on pole position, and Oscar Piastri completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid we have: Fittipaldi, Fernando Alonso, Norris, Firestarter, Hamilton, Sargent, Ricciardo, Perez, Leclerc, Iwasa, Russell, Teo Porcher, Behrman, Tsunoda, Ocon, Stroll, Vesti, and Zhou Guanyu. That's it then. It's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race.
Well, here we are then, down on the grid, and well, we've got to hope for our World Championship's sake that Gasly can hold off Oscar Piastri down in towards turn 1. I can't help but feel if that Ferrari breaks away, then he is just going to be able to just build up a gap at the front of the order. 39 laps ahead of us, though, around the toughest track on the Formula 1 calendar as we wait then on the grid for those 5 red lights. Mighty long hole, but it is lights out and away we go there, and getting a lot of wheel spin in the initial phase. Luckily everybody else will kind of bunch up on the inside through turn 1. There we saw Lando Norris just tries to squeeze us out. We will get around the outside though of the McLaren and straight up into P5 then at the start of the GP there, so a decent little start in the end after I struggled through the initial phase of acceleration there to the inside of Alonso on lap 1. You know, you've got to get the elbows out, got to be prepared to try and make moves happen there as we will go wheel to wheel down through the hairpin. Good racing between the pair of us there, or we lock up slightly, kind of forcing wide through lower Mirabeau, but we will move up then 2 places gained actually on lap 1, so we did a very, very good job there, and now it's Haas, Ferrari, Haas as your top 4 then early on in the GP. But you know, I say the same cliches every time we come here. This circuit is all about trying to settle into a rhythm, you know, just get confident, get comfortable with the car you've got underneath you. It looks like pretty much every single car is on the same strategy as well. So I think everybody are looking to go from medium to the hard compound. But Pierre Gasly then will lead at the end of lap 1. Oh, we've got yellows. Someone already breaking down on just lap 2. Not too sure who that is then on the minimap. I think it's Lando Norris. So Norris, the 3rd weekend in a row that he is not going to be able to score points in. And, well, it just seems to be the same story every year for Lando. Starts the season quite strong, looks competitive, and then you kind of get to about 1/3 distance and everything just falls apart for the McLaren man here. Our first casualty of the day, and McLaren, let's not forget, that's their that's their 3rd mechanical failure, isn't it, in the last 3 Grand Prix. They need to sort out those cars. But already Enzo Fittipaldi just struggling to keep up with the likes of Oscar Piastri and Pierre Gasly at the front of the order. I think helped probably because of Lando's issues. Our top 5 though, I've got a big breakaway over everybody else then, so we've got to try and start looking for moves against the Brazilian there. Again, not even downshifting as we make our way through to back, and there you go. That's how you make the overtake then. No idea where Fittipaldi's gone. He just disappeared. Completely locked up in front of me there. Went straight on down at the final few corners, and I think he's still stuck in that runoff area then. So Fittipaldi now is going to drop to the rear of the order in this GP. And, well, there's drama early on here. It's only lap 5. Oscar Piastri, I'm just watching him as he makes his way up through Massenet and into Casino Square. That Ferrari, definitely its tyres are starting just to fall off slightly there, maybe leaning on those rears a little bit too much. Monaco can be a really weird track for monitoring tyre wear and temperature and things as well. You'd expect it to kind of not really be a problem in any regard, but especially kind of when you're tucked up behind someone in the dirty air, it can actually be a really, really difficult track. You know, you get a lot of wheel spin, things like that, where pretty much every corner here is a low-speed traction zone, it feels like. But yeah, winding our way, though, down past the harbour yet again. Just trying to see if we can force an error out of Oscar like we did to his teammate Enzo Fittipaldi, or nudge the wall slightly. Trying to open up the circuit through those final couple of turns there. And again, not quite close enough in towards turn 1. I've got to stop nudging that wall. 74% tyre wear on that left-hand side tyre. As long as we don't keep doing it, we should be fine. But that is a major problem, as you can just see still how much grip we've got. Able to launch it in. Oh, Oscar just actually went a little bit defensive there on me. That kind of caught me by surprise. So I was going to go into the back of him had I not tried to send it to the inside there. So a little bit of a look. Unable to make anything happen with it that time round, though. But are we going to be close enough as we make our way in through the tunnel once again? Got to be within about 2/10 of him by the time we get out into the sunlight there. As to the inside we'll go. We kept 2 wheels on the circuit there. Oscar Piastri, though, will jump the curbing. He'll hang on to the place. How on earth does Oscar Piastri think that's fair? He cut the circuit to hold on to the position. And I wish these games were slightly better with the AI in that regard, because if this was real Formula 1, Ferrari would be telling him now he's got to give up the place to avoid getting a penalty. But he has got a penalty! Okay, F124's actually worked as it should for once. Oscar Piastri, a 10-second time penalty for an illegal overtake. The problem is, though, all this is doing is allowing our teammate Pierre Gasly to run away. Oh, again, just trying to get a run on Oscar Piastri there, and again to the inside through upper Mirabo, and that time round we might be able to make the move happen there. A little bit of wheel banging between the pair of us. Oscar Piastri will not be happy about the penalty he's picked up, and will certainly not be happy now that he's lost the place as well. But Haas, this might be the first time it's ever happened inside this game. I'd have to double check, but we have now got a 1-2 here on the streets of Monaco. This is going pretty well. I think Pierre's going to dive in at the end of this lap, so we are going to inherit the lead of the Grand Prix, but obviously he's leading. He's got first choice of strategy in this race. So obviously, yeah, Pierre obviously allowed to cover off from those cars behind, so we're going to have to extend just 1 lap extra here, and then move over onto our set of the hards. Going to have basically done half this race on the mediums, and they're definitely starting to feel a little bit more slippery towards the end of the stint. The other thing I've just got to be careful of is that we don't pick up any more kind of wear on that left-hand side, otherwise we're going to get a puncture there. As there we go, Pierre Gasly into the pit lane. Sure, we're going to see basically every other car in the pits as well. So, this has got to be a big lap for us, and lines like that at turn 1 do not do us any favours. Well, Pierre then comfortably out in front of the likes of Fernando Alonso. But look at that, Daniel Ricciardo up into P5 at the moment. I believe he's pit in this Grand Prix. So the Australian always used to go well around this venue as well. And that looks to have carried over into his time at VCARB. I would assume we're going to come out in P2 of this GP, as we'll try and see over the wall if we can see Pierre Gasly making his way through those final couple of corners. Last car onto a set of the hard tyres here. Of course we did. That might just give Pierre a little bit of extra safety at the front of the order then. There he goes, still in P1.
See these tyres through to the end now.
Luckily, we are still in P2 then. But we have got our work cut out in the second half of the GP if we think we can win this race. Of course, the bigger thing, though, is making sure that Haas convert a 1-2. Oh, no. Oh, that's bad. Just trying to push for a new fastest lap. Oh, that's really, really bad then in this Grand Prix. Just a little bit of front wing on that outside there. But the problem you face around this circuit, of course, is that little bit of front wing damage. Now makes it so much more likely that you'll pick up more and more through the second half of the afternoon. Do we just try and make sure that we bring the car home? Or do we pit and go to a fresh set of tyres and a new wing? I think we've just got to try and bring home the 1-2 still. Unless we get a safety car or something like that.
At the moment, just focus on the driving.
Oh, no. Just... Right, that's going to have to be a new front wing, isn't it? Damn it! Oh, we got another car breaking down. It's the other McLaren. George Russell out of the Grand Prix as well then, by the looks of it. So a safety car now would really, really benefit us in this Grand Prix. But Russell, our second retirement of the day then. And well, we said McLaren need to sort out their reliability in this series. That is huge for them. 4 mechanical failures in the last 3 Grand Prix. But where are we going to re-emerge then in this GP? I think we're going to be way down the order. Because obviously a load of other cars, obviously we lost more time because of the front wing change. We're not even inside the points at the moment, as Ollie Behrman will come out just ahead of us. can we just make sure that we're ahead of Yuki Tsunoda? We're going to be wheel to wheel with him on the exit of the pit lane there, but we have got much fresher, softer tyres towards the end of the afternoon, so hopefully we can try and fight our way back inside the top 10 there as Tsunoda rather aggressively decides that he's going to try and defend the inside line. Won't matter though, as we will get clean around him. But yeah, we've got a lot of work to try and do, and this could have huge ramifications in the World Championship. Oh, come on then, all over the back of Ollie Behrman. Will he try and cover off? Oh, he did try to cover us off there, but he left a car's whip down the inside, and we will get back past the Williams and into 11th place then. But Oscar Piastri is the only Formula 1 driver I know who could pick up a 10-second time penalty at Monaco, and still right now he would extend his World Championship lead over his top 3 closest rivals. This game absolutely loves the Australian. I mean, a pretty fresh set of soft compound tyres going up against an old set of hards here. The amount of grip, the amount of closing speed we've got on the AI there as our Porsche potentially left us a bit of a...
Right, get what we needed out of that, I'm afraid, but don't worry about it. There's a long way to go. Chin up, and let's focus till the end.
I mean, I'm down the inside. Like, we've got enough of the car there, I think, to warrant the space. Let me know down in the comments below your thoughts on that incident, but Oscar Piastri, Teo Porcher even, I kind of feel that he should have just given it up. What is Iwasa doing? How has he not been able to get the throttle down there? But surely you're not going to have to pit again towards the end of this race. I think we are. Damn it, man. This race has suddenly gone so badly for us. As on to another first set then, I think, of the soft compound tyre here. But what was Iwasa doing? He just did not get the power down off of the exit of the chicane there. And suddenly now, I think points are going to be almost impossible to come by this afternoon. What could have been an easy 1-2 for Haas has just completely been turned on its head, as we are going to be out with last. We are last place in the Monaco Grand Prix. Hopefully we're not going to finish here, but how quickly this race can turn on its head. And I've said it before and I'll say it again, front wing damage here just breeds more front wing damage. Well, Fittipaldi and myself then both having terrible, terrible Monaco GPs. Ferrari on the whole have had a pretty bad race here. At least Haas have had the saving grace of Oscar Piastri there, but again to the inside of yet another driver through Upper Mirabo. And again, we will pull off that overtake there. I mean, like I said, we're running so many seconds a lot faster than these guys, but I'm just still kind of racing on with the hopes that we could maybe score a point from this Grand Prix. Show is all over the road, man. It's so difficult to predict where he's going to position that car. As past it we will go, and we will gain another spot. Well, next up then, Fred Vesti in that Sauber car there, and learning from the mistake we made with Teo Porcher. You cannot really have a look to the inside of the AI through Anthony Noakes there. They will just turn in on you if they feel like it is all again almost into the back of another car. Under braking, just so much more performance than these guys at the moment. Can we have a look to the outside of Fred Vesti? Yes, we can. And that's another different place then that we made an overtake in this afternoon's GP. 3 laps to go after this one, though. I guess at least for the fans, we are putting on a show towards the end of the race. But yeah, Gasly, Fernando Alonso out in front. They have just got, well, especially Pierre, he has dominated the afternoon's proceedings. Can we get a run on Lance Stroll in the Williams car as we make our way down in towards the chicane? A big lunge from a long way back. We will just about keep it inside track limits and into 14th. Well, such a shame to see Alpine really just struggling at this stage of the campaign. They've often been a bit of giant killers inside this series, but I don't think this last season is going to deliver too many memorable results there. As down the inside, oh, with Esteban Ocon we go. Huge kick of oversteer on the exit, just to stop him from considering trying to get the switch back on us. As you just see, yeah, we are completely overdriving this car right now, trying to get as many spots as we can back towards the end of the afternoon. Behrman 8 seconds up the road, So I think that Sonoda is probably likely going to be the last car that we can try and move past here, is trying to hop over those curbs as best as we can. Where will we be able to make a move though on Yuki to make our way through in towards the final sector there? Could we have a look down into Larascas? Yes, we can. Oh, big dive bomb. A lot of contact, but that's sometimes how you got to make moves here. But as we round the final corner then to start the last lap of the Monaco Grand Prix, it really feels like Pierre and I this weekend have kind of done a bit of a role reversal here. Our teammate has not often been particularly strong inside this game, but this season he has come to Monaco and he has absolutely dominated. No one has been able to get close to Pierre Gasly this weekend. It was certainly not the result I thought we'd see coming into the GP, but through the final corners, another Frenchman is going to win the Monaco GP there. Out of the final corner, Pierre Gasly and the Haas are back on top in Formula 1 yet again there. What a result for Pierre. I've got to say I am very, very happy for him, despite how disappointing our race ended up going throughout the second half of the afternoon there. I really did genuinely just want to bring home a 1-2, but then that mistake down here into the back ultimately cost us any chance of that, and we have paid the price for it today. Fernando Alonso will join him up on the podium. I think Lewis Hamilton is going to finish in P3 there, so a very popular podium right the way throughout, but a race that showed so much promise is going to deliver so little. It is P12 here in Monte Carlo.
What a super drive! Pierre Gasly takes the checkered flag.
They led from lights out to the flag at the end, and their race victory was never in doubt, was it? Brilliant stuff by them.
The quality and fantastic result of the Haas team will have been noticed by everyone out there today. You can see why everyone's taking them so seriously. These drivers will be hot property by the end of the season.
Well, pole position, what would have been fastest lap and race victory. Can you complain, Pierre Gasly, this weekend with the way he has driven there? Absolutely in control of the Monaco GP when all is said and done. Fernando Alonso beats out Lewis Hamilton in P2 and P3 there. Daniel Ricciardo, a really good effort in his V-carb to finish 4th ahead of Sergio Perez and Logan Sargent. Piastri did recover to 7th place in the end. Charles Leclerc, the homeboy, in 8th. Ahead of Ayumu Iwasa and Théo Pourchaire, rounding out our top 10. Neither McLaren able to even see the checkered flag there. Enzo Fittipaldi and myself also out of the GP gave a few drivers an opportunity to take home some big points there. It does mean Piastri's gap at the top now 25 points ahead of George Russell. We are 39 back from the Australian there. Still ahead of Lando, Norris, Charles Leclerc and Pierre Gasly now just ahead of Fernando Alonso as Fittipaldi drops down the order because of that result. Still ahead though of Lewis Hamilton there. Red Bull still in 10th and 11th, just ahead of Pourchaire and Daniel Ricciardo. You see Iwasa gets his first big points of the year as well. Still ahead of Ollie Behrman, and still Esteban Ocon, Lance Stroll and those Saubers yet to score a point. Constructors wise though, Ferrari now 1 ahead of McLaren at the top of the standings. Haas there do make, take some big inroads out of the pair of them, but have we got a 1-2, we could have been right with those top 2 teams as well there. So completely, my own fault, and it is such a disappointment as well. Thank you all so much for watching though. We will rebound when we return next time out, ready for the Canadian Grand Prix.